Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new exciting episode of Finance with Alex. I'm your host, Alex. Today, I'll be discussing the topic of renting versus buying a property in the UK market. I think, given with interest rates and the uncertainty currently, it makes a lot of sense to actually discuss it. What are the pros and cons of each situation, and what does it actually mean for you? So let's start. Renting. So what are the pros of renting? In general, renting is quite flexible and change. You can change prices if you don't like a certain area fairly easily, depending on the terms of your contract. Most contracts are usually 12 months long. You're actually not responsible for maintaining the property. That is, if something breaks like an oven, fridge, freezer, boiler, etc., your landlord is responsible for fixing them. Your rent is actually fixed for the duration of your contract, so you actually have a certainty how much you're supposed to be paying every month. And obviously, if you want to live in a posh area, obviously you have to pay for it because location determines the price. And but also, if you don't want to live somewhere central, prices tend to be a bit cheaper. What the actual cons of renting, though? Well, the main one, and obviously most people realize it on their own, is you don't own the property. You have to abide by a specific tenancy rules. Most places don't actually allow you to have a pet or even to hang a painting or without specific approval. Rents actually tend to increase quicker and higher than inflation, and not all landlords are actually very quick to do the repairs as they're supposed to. And another thing is because you're paying your rent, the landlord actually uses that rent to pay off the mortgage, so you don't get any equity stake in the property. And if the landlord decides to sell the property, usually you only get a month's notice. And imagine this, if you're renting somewhere for almost 30 years, you do not have any housing equity whatsoever. You'll still be renting. Imagine all the money you could have saved, potentially. What are the pros of actually buying though? Well, you own the property, hence you can decorate it any way you want within limits. Obviously, you can't do structural changes without a prior permission from the council. You can also have a pet. Amazing. In my case, I have a very nice pet cat, ragdoll named Oscar. It's amazing. Imagine if you want a puppy or something else, you can do it, but you can only do it if you're buying a property, if you own it. The value of the property can also rise or decrease based on markets, so that is quite dynamic situation. But the trend for the last 20 years has been that property prices have been increasing every year, apart from the 2008 financial crisis and obviously a little bit during the COVID pandemic. But after that, prices went up again by a lot. The other benefit of getting your own properties, you can actually fix how much you're supposed to be paying every month by getting a fixed rate mortgage. In the UK, those tend to be anywhere between 2, 5, 7, and go up to 10 years. Sadly, 30-year mortgages are not common in the UK market. And what the actual cons of actually buying a property? Well, if you want to move somewhere else, like a different city, but you own a property, that makes things quite difficult. Also, stamp duty taxes are rising uh, from the 1st of April, typically 2% above 125k and 5% above 250 to 950k for the value of the property. If you don't meet your mortgage payments, you can actually use your property. It goes back to the bank. Uh, Properties actually require you to have a great deal of initial capitals and deposit to actually complete the purchase. Usually 10% deposit is common, but also you have to account for legal fees, moving fees, buying new furniture, and sometimes even redecoration will be required, and that can take a significant amount of time. Also, bear in mind that transactions in the UK from offer to completion can take a long time, anywhere between 2 to 4 months. So it's a very long process. In other countries, especially in Europe, that process can easily take a week, but unfortunately the UK market doesn't work like that. It's a very long and prolonged process. So this is my review for the UK market, buying versus renting. I hope you liked it. Please feel free to comment. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. Do you prefer renting? Do you prefer buying a property? And I want to know what you think about the current situation. Thank you very much.